Nothing is off the table. The White House now saying all options are open when it comes to President Trump's face-to-face meeting with North Korean dictator Kim Jong Un.
Would President Trump be open to actually having Kim Jong Un at the White House?
Again, I have no announcement. It's at a time and a place to be determined.
But he wouldn't rule that out?
No, nothing's being ruled out.
Including going to Pyongyang. Would the president be open to going to North Korea, going to his turf on that?
Well, I don't think that that's, highly likely. But again, I'm not going to rule anything out.
All right, so it's all open right now. What should we expect on this? National security analyst Dr. Rebecca Grant joins us live now. Doctor, thanks so much. First of all, do you really think that this is going to happen, and is it wise to do this?
Absolutely, 100%. This summit will happen. Where is an interesting question. Don't rule out Reykjavik, the site of the historic Gorbachev and Reagan summit. But the South Koreans are saying that there's a good chance this will take place up at Panmunjom.
Doctor, President Trump was tweeting over the weekend. He sent out numerous tweets talking about, North Korea not conducting a missile test since November of 2017, talking about conversations he's had with the president of China, talking about conversations he's had with the president of Japan. So how important do you think it is not only for this meeting to happen and for denuclearization to be the topic here, but for everybody to be on the same page?
It's incredibly important for everyone to be on the same page, and this is Trump's big achievement with Nikki Haley and Tillerson, Mattis, everyone. He does have help from Xi Jinping and from Abe, and very important from President Moon. The whole world has come together with the UN sanctions and the military pressure, and that is what has made Kim Jong Un agree to talk. China has left North Korea no way out.
You know, we had Elizabeth Warren on Fox News Sunday. It was a very interesting interview. Somebody that probably hates the president more than any other politician actually gave him credit on a couple different issues here. But she did say that she has concern about, in this meeting, the president being taken advantage of. That seems to be one of the complaints from the left, if this happens, that he's going to go into this willy-nilly and get taken advantage of. What do you say to that?
Which astonishes me, because Donald Trump is the last person I would worry about in a deal-making meeting. He is the one who has rushed into a burning house to reverse our North Korea policy. He ended the Obama strategic patience that did not work, and he's got us to a point where we have a chance to reverse this and prevent this terrible North Korean breakout. I think Donald Trump is, use his phrase, bold and beautiful. He is the right man for this. Absolutely.
Well, you talk about being bold. President Trump has not been quiet as far as being tough on North Korea. Do you think that that has ultimately led to this meeting?
Absolutely. The pressure that he has put on has been perfect. He's done the military pressure. He's used the UN appropriately. But he has done a lot of quiet diplomacy, the calls with Xi Jinping, the work with Abe. And Tillerson, Mattis, and others have spent a lot of time on airplanes, going to meetings, and on the phone lining up other countries to expel North Korean diplomats and to explain the pressure. Don't forget, Trump did that briefing almost a year ago to Congress, laying out military possibilities and the military situation. So while he's been very bold, I give him an A for his quiet, behind-the-scenes hard work to get us to this point also.
All right, well, from North Korea, we move on to another nation we need to be wary of, and that is Russia. Vladimir Putin has this big State of the Union type speech a week or two ago, and reveals this new missile that they say that they have, which can avoid missile defenses, and shows a video of it striking America, which was appalling. General Mattis says that this technology is not there yet. Putin says it is. What do you say?
Putin and his fancy missiles. We can't forget he has an election coming up. He has no economic growth, so he has to show off his missiles. As for this thing, I'm not impressed, and neither is Mattis, and here's why. The U.S. has had this type of hypersonic missile in test and development for at least 10 years, and Putin has strapped this Kinzhal missile on a MiG-31 fighter jet, which has supersonic capability itself. That tells me that he is not quite there in his hypersonic technology. He still needs the boost from that fighter jet to get it going. Now, if he put this on a bomber or something else, I might be more impressed. But right now, Mattis is cool and calm. We should be as well. I don't like what the Russians are doing with their weapons development, but this does not change the balance.
Dr. Rebecca Grant, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it.